Hello guys, welcome to video number 2 of a jQuery course. And so in this video I will start doing some jQuery code. Okay, so let's jump straight away to the coding. So the first thing I want you guys to do is to create an HTML page. So let's create that. Head, body, and close body. Okay, so inside head you can save, let's save first the file, save as, and you have to save or try to save the document in the same path or directory where you had the jQuery.js. Normally developers I'm gonna do that. Normally we can build or create a new directory called GS, and this is where we're gonna put all our JavaScript files. As you know, JavaScript files is where you can put .gs files, okay, and in those files you can store your JavaScript functions, okay, instead of putting them or instead of creating your functions in here, okay, between the famous JavaScript script tags, which are script type equals text JavaScript, JavaScript, and that's it. And now you should put the closing script. Okay, the thing is that until now in JavaScript, and for most, I think in the most of the video tutorials in JavaScript course, we did all the files, all the JavaScript code and all the functions in the same page as your HTML page, okay, between the script tags. But I think I showed you how you can put all the JavaScript code inside a .gs file and call it as an external link, okay. So to call a GS file, you just have to type source, and here let's call it a test.gs. What we had to do is then create a file test.gs, okay, or in this case the path is directory gs/test.gs. So we had to create inside this directory in here a file called test.gs, and inside that file we would create all the JavaScript code we want to, okay, and automatically with this line of code here, those functions can be called or though that code of JavaScript will run just by putting this line of code in here in your HTML page, okay. So this is what we will do, but for the jQuery.js, okay, or your minified jQuery file that we downloaded in the last video, okay. So I changed the name to I think it was called jQuery 1.6.2 whatever .gs, and I called it jQuery.js. Okay, it's easier to remember and to write. So in here I'm gonna put this file inside the GS directory, okay, and in here you just have to type jQuery.js, okay, to call the jQuery file. Every time you do some jQuery code, you will need to put this line first, okay, to call the jQuery.js file, okay? Without this file, the jQuery code will not run at all. So let's save this as jQuery test.html. Perfect. Okay. Now down here, I'm going to create another script type tag as well. Text, JavaScript, and here script. And this is where I'm going to put the jQuery code. Okay, this is where we're going to write the jQuery code in here. So before we do some jQuery code, I want you guys to build here, let's say h1 and close h1, and in here let's give an ID. We will use a lot of IDs to identify tags, either divs or h1s or paragraphs. Okay, let's put a div instead of h1. Div ID. Why do we use IDs? We will use IDs so much because jQuery identifies or calls whatever tags with the IDs. Okay, if you don't have IDs, it is going to be very, very difficult to use jQuery, because every time we do a function with jQuery to manipulate some tags or divs or whatever, we have to call it by the ID. Okay, so let's call this div1 or whatever. Okay, now in here, you can put something like testing, and in here let's create a button. Input type equals button ID, of course. It's going to be called button as well, and value is going to be hide it. Okay, and as you saw, for the, as I mentioned in here, what I'm going to do with jQuery is create a function to hide the div here where we have testing whenever we click button. Okay, very simple. So let's open this in Firefox and let's see. Okay, so you see we have here testing. Okay, and if we click, nothing happens. What I want is to click it and the testing will disappear. Okay, so pretty simple. So the first thing you have to do is to type this thing here, which is document between parentheses, sorry. And every time you do some functions or some jQuery code, you have to start with this line of code here. Okay, so just remember this. Function ready, and now function and semicolon here, and now down here is where you can start doing your jQuery. Okay, this is every time you do some jQuery, you have to type this. This is for the document to, or for the jQuery to be aware that the document of the browser is ready. Okay, so the function is going, it will only function when the document is ready, the page is loaded. Okay, so now we type, let me see here, let me type this dollar symbol, okay, and every time you use a selector, this is where this is how we choose a selector. You have to type the dollar symbol, okay, then parentheses, and inside the parentheses the selector that I want. I'm going to type button, ID button, and also you have always to use the hash symbol before the ID, okay, or the selector. So click, and now parentheses again, and function, okay, and this is where I'm going to create the function after I click the button ID. Okay, so as you see, it's very, very simple. Maybe for some of you guys a little bit confusing right now for this because of the syntax, but I promise you guys will get used to it pretty quickly. Okay, so what I'm doing here is call where is it? Call the button ID. Okay, with the selector dot click, which is going to be basically what I'm saying here is if I click the button, okay, do this function, okay, here. So the function is going to be, let's do a simple thing first. Let's do an alert, and in here let's type alert hello, and let's run this in Chrome. Okay, here it is. If I click it, there it is. Okay, hello. Okay, so it works perfectly, and with this simple lines of code, okay, in jQuery, you see the potential of this. Instead of using onClick like we did in JavaScript, normal JavaScript, and then function, and then and then create the function here and alert, blah blah blah. With all this, we can skip the onClick in here, use it in here, select whatever IDs we want, and then we create the event, which is an alert or insert HTML text or whatever we want. Okay, so you see how this is how the powerful or the potential of this. Okay, to save a lot of JavaScript code. So now what I'm going to show you how to do is how to hide this. Okay, so in here what I have to type now is to select the div somehow, okay, and say that it has to hide. Okay, so whenever we click the button, do the function select div1. Okay, here it is, and dot hide, okay, which is an event, okay, that will hide. And we have a lot of events and animations that you can use. I'm going to show you that in some other videos. Okay, and hide, and inside hide, inside the parentheses here, let's type 1000. This is the speed of the that you want to hide that selector. Okay, so let's put 1000, and let's save this, and let's see if this works. Let's open this in Chrome. And there it is. If I click it, perfect. Okay, so it works perfectly. This is how we can hide, and obviously hide is one of the many animations or events that you can use in jQuery. Okay, so that's it for now. In the next video I'm going to show you some other cool stuff you can do. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.